Every year, we Jews read the Bible story of King Balak of Moab, who hires a holy man named Bilam to curse the Jewish people. To many, it is just another Bible story. However, it happens to represent a fundamental aspect of Jewish faith and peoplehood that few realize. Stay with me to be wowed, yes, wowed, on how this seemingly random Bible story actually encapsulates the eternal tragedy and destiny of the Jewish people. Folks, as you know, social media censorship is growing. The best way to support our video work for Israel is to subscribe to our video newsletter on pulseofisrael.com and to share our videos. If you are already a subscriber, then thank you. Let's get into the story to remind people the context. The Jewish people were in the desert approaching the land of Israel after God freed them from slavery in Egypt. They approached the land of Moab, which is basically where the country of Jordan is today. King Balak of Moab wants to stop the Jewish people. He heard about the tremendous miracles that God did to save the Jewish people from Egypt, as well as in the desert. And as a smart king that he was, he realized that he had no chance to beat the Jewish people at battle since God had consistently protected and saved them. So instead of deciding to wage war against the Jewish people, he decides to hire a man of God named Bilam to curse the Jewish people instead. Now, for a smart man, he actually was pretty stupid, because while he thought God would protect them in battle, he also thought that God would not protect them from a curse. Interesting logic. However, it's important to highlight that he still understood that God protected the Jewish people. Now, to make a long story short, Bilam the holy man went with Balak to curse the Jewish people. But instead of uttering a curse, God had him utter a blessing instead. Basically, God saved the Jewish people again. Both King Balak and holy man Bilam end up returning to their homes after a failed mission at trying to beat the Jewish people with a curse. End of story, right? Wrong. After the curse fails, the Bible, the Torah, continues with a follow-up story, telling us about the masses of Moabite women who then seduced the Jewish men. Not only did thousands of Jewish men allow themselves to be seduced by the Moabite women, but the men then began worshiping the idols of the Moabite women instead of worshiping God, their protector. This then led to a plague that killed around 24,000 Jews. So basically, even though the king of Moab failed to hurt the tribes of Israel by warfare or curse, it was the women of Moab who succeeded by preying on the Jewish men, harnessing the power of human nature and natural desire. Now, the Jewish men should have been stronger than that, but they weren't, and instead they brought upon a downfall. What we learn from this story is something fascinating and yet scary. Now, the king of Moab understood that the Jewish people are protected by God, and God indeed protected them. However, when the Israelite men allowed themselves to be seduced by the Moabite women, they were the ones who brought death and plague upon themselves by forsaking God. This is the ultimate tragedy and destiny of the Jewish people. Stay with me. No logic can explain our survival as a people because it's not logical. It's a miracle because God protects us, looking after us to ensure that we survive and continue to exist. Our existence is a living miracle that proves God's existence. That's our purpose as a people. However, we, the Jewish people, have the duty to remember all that God has done for us and continues to do for us. We do this by showing appreciation and gratitude by following his special rules of life that he gave to us with the Torah, the commandments. When the Jewish people forsake the Torah, it is in essence an act of ingratitude. And it's in response to that ingratitude that bad things happen to us as a people. The good news is that God will always ensure we exist, and he will always save us. Why? Because we are proof of his existence. It is just up to us not to forsake our faith or our responsibility to follow his ways as a form of appreciation and gratitude for all he has done for us and he continues to do for us. Because the bottom line is, without the one above looking after us, we wouldn't be here at all. Now understand, it is not easy to be a Jew, not at all. It is not easy to follow God and his commandments. That also goes against basic human logic. Man wants to do what man wants to do. Why should a man want to have to do a commandment? He wants to do what he wants to do. Man also doesn't logically feel gratitude for what a mystical power did to save his forefathers over 3,000 plus years of history. That also defies basic human logic. So the challenge of the Jewish people as a people is great, and not every Jew can manage it. For many, it is so much easier to just live life without the responsibilities that come with being a Jew. That is why we do have ups and downs as a people. That's natural. However, for those who are still listening, our power as a Jewish people is in our belief in the one above. And our secret sauce as a people to survive and fulfill our responsibilities as a people is by living a life of gratitude, by following the life lessons, the mitzvot, the commandments that God gave to us in the Torah. That is why we will always exist as a people, because our ultimate destiny is to be the living proof to all of humanity that God exists.
Pulse of Israel, frontline videos from the Holy Land. Support our work by donating today.